I now call the Carroll County Board of Commissioners meeting September 5th to order. I'm going to ask the clerk, Linda Bingham, to do the roll call.
Chairman Morgan.
Here.
Vice Chairman Chance.
Here.
Commissioner McClendon.
Here.
Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Fuller.
Here.
Commissioner Reynolds.
Here.
Commissioner Bailey.
Here.
At this time, I'm going to call on Commissioner Lee to do the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please remove your cover. Dear Heavenly Father God, thank you for this day. Thank you for all the blessings you give us, dear God. Please help us to make wise decisions and give us your knowledge to do what's right for the constituents in our community. And please protect all of our military and our first responders, dear God. We ask this in your heaven name, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I could have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed?
Commissioner Reynolds.
Approve.
He said approved.
Okay. Motion carries 7-0.
Yes.
Okay, next, we have approval of the minutes from the work session of July 27, 2023, the Board of Commissioners meeting minutes from August 1st, and the special call board meeting from August 22nd. If I could have a motion and a second to approve these.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Approve.
Motion carries 7-0.
We'll now move into public comments. Public comments are an opportunity for the public to address the Commission with any issues or concerns they may have. All remarks should be directed to the chairman and not to individual commissioners, staff, or citizens in attendance. Members of the public shall not make inappropriate or offensive comments. Any individual who violates the rules of decorum may be removed from the meeting. At this time, the board will not comment, nor will the board take any action on these comments, and speakers are limited to 3 minutes. We have the sign-up sheet in back. I'll take those names first, and then I'll ask if there's anybody else. So, Mr. Gray, if you want to come forward. And if you don't mind, when you do speak, go ahead and say your name and your address, even though I have it here.
My name is Bill Gray. I live at 707 North Highway 113, Carrollton, Georgia. First of all, let me say I count it a privilege to be a citizen of this county. I think West Georgia, and particularly Carroll County, is fortunate to maintain the values and the traditional way of life that we do here. It's not to say that some may not approve of it. About 3 years ago, after the pandemic was tailing off, I realized I have been negligent in being involved in county and city government, and that's why you see us here at these meetings. We learned from the previous pandemic that experts are not always experts at all, and sometimes they're dead wrong. We know from what we're hearing out of Washington, D.C., that our president and many of our leaders are planning to bring back mask mandates and other things like that. And my appearance before you tonight is to encourage you as commissioners to not be quick to take anything that comes out of Washington, but to do due diligence, which I expect you will, and to have a healthy skepticism about anything you hear. I don't know any of you real personally. I don't know what news channels you listen to, but if you listen to typical broadcast media, you will not get accurate information. That I know from the previous pandemic. So I would encourage you to seek out sources, if you're not already doing so, that would be considered conservative sources. I'm a minister of a church in Bremen, Georgia, Cross Point Christian Church. We met with the first pandemic, and because of everything we were hearing, we felt it was our obligation to protect our people, and so we ceased meeting for about 3 months. But when we began to smell a rat, we opened up our meetings again. And I assure you, this time, we're not intending to shut down. If we have people who are marginal, if they think there's a risk to themselves, and we advise them to stay at home and they can listen by video. I've got much more to say, but I don't think time will allot. But I just encourage you to have a healthy skepticism, to take things in a measured sort of way, because there are nefarious actors at the federal level. I suppose most of you already know that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak during the public comment time? I'll ask one more time. Is there anyone here that would like to speak during public comments? Well, seeing and hearing none, we'll move into the zoning session. The applicant or anyone speaking in favor of the application request should be allowed a total of 10 minutes to present their request. Anyone opposed to the request shall also have a total of 10 minutes to present their opposition. If there are multiple speakers for or against the application, please be mindful that it's 10 minutes total, not 10 minutes per speaker. Anyone speaking for or against the application should also be allowed a total of 5 minutes to speak in rebuttal. I'll now turn it over to Ben Skipper, Community Development.
Madam Chairman, Board of Commissioners, 8.1 is a rezoning at 2868 Highway 166. It's a rezoning request for 8.6 acres from agriculture to commercial for a special events venue at 2868. Land Lot 70 of the 10th District, owner applicant is Scott and Dina Kaiser. It's in Commission District 4. The Planning Commission recommended approval 5-0. And if you remember, this will be one of our first ones applying under the new ordinance change that the Board of Commissioners did last time for special event venues. Excuse me. Is the applicant present? If you would, come forward, state your name, and present your application.
Good evening. I'm Deanna Kaiser. Let me first say I apologize that we were late. So let's get started with that. I hated to interrupt somebody while they were speaking. So my name is Deanna Kaiser. It's my husband, Scott. Our property is the property at 2868 that we're wanting to rezone to commercial for the purpose of building an event venue. You might can see from what's in your packet a couple of things I want to draw your attention to. One is we're only requesting to rezone 8.67 acres of the property. We actually own 52 acres. So the rest of it will be kept agriculture. Our plan is to build a home there. So this will be on the highway side from where our home will be. The preliminary plans that you can see in your packet may or may not reflect that the venue name is Laurel Crest, so that's what we'll be talking about. And it's a total of 7,750 square feet, with a plan to accommodate up to 400 guests. One of the reasons I thought I would discuss why we want to build a venue. First of all, we think this is a perfect location because it's on the highway, and it's 1 mile from the bypass and from City Station. So it's well suited for what we would be doing for people who would be coming here, especially from out of town, who would be looking for shopping or dining or lodging. It's centrally located, easily found, and not as far out in the country. That's one thing. It's also close proximity for businesses and schools in this area who would want to host events there. Secondly, and most importantly, is that we feel like this is filling a big need for our county. I don't know if you've planned a wedding or a large event lately, but if you have more than 200 guests, sometimes 250, you're going to have a hard time finding a place to have that here in this county. You could possibly go out into the county into a barn or a farm type atmosphere, or you could go to the college. Neither of those are ideal if what you're wanting is not a rustic location, or if you've hosted something at the college or attended something there, it's too big almost in a lot of those places. So that is why we want to do it. I personally, our daughter got married a few years ago, and we had the same problem, which is why we started looking into this. And so we unfortunately took our money and all of the revenue that goes with it to Douglasville. And there are a number of events that we've been to who have had to do the same thing. So our biggest goal is to keep the revenue here in this county. I thought that I would go ahead and address some questions and concerns that came up at the last meeting. Maybe we could nip that in the bud. So the first concern that anybody had, especially some of the neighbors, were concerned about there being late night events that would go into the evening. It would be outside and the noise would be high. There was a mention of like concerts. So I want to be clear, that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to host, middle of the night concerts. So I want to reiterate that we're going to live there. So this is going to be in my backyard, and the noise level is going to matter to me as well as the surrounding neighbors. Another reason that we want to have such a large venue is we live close to a venue out in the country as well. And if you don't have room to keep it all indoors, you do end up with a lot of it spilling outdoors, and then you do have noise from it. So our hope is that anything that would be outdoors, like ceremony or, I'll call it a cocktail hour for lack of a better word, but something like that before you move indoors. But we hope that the majority of it is going to be done indoors. And the only other thing I would say to address that is I know that there are already noise ordinances in this county, so we would obviously be abiding to those. A second concern was about parking and access, so I thought I would go ahead and tell you. I asked Scott, I'm not sure if it's in your packet. I think you have the drawing, and it has been approved by the DOT, so we've worked with John Bass. We've been working a number of months on getting this, and the DOT has approved this, so that is all good to go. We were asked at the last meeting about financing. They wanted to be sure that we had the financing in place to do this project and that it was not going to be a project that was going to be done in phases. So the answer to that is yes. We are prepared to break ground as soon as we can, and we have financing in place for this. So it's going to be all done at one time. Last question, I think, is we had a question about whether or not we wanted to annex it into the city. So I want to be clear. We don't want to annex it into the city. That's not our intention or our hope. So just to clear that up and have you hear that straight from me, that is not what we want to do. We intend to keep this in the county. And the only other thing I think of any concern I made a note is that the kitchen that will be there that you see on the plans is not at all a commercial kitchen with all the requirements that that entails. It is simply a warming, catering kitchen. I'm not going to be doing any catering on site. That's not what I want to be in the business of. So I think that's all. Thank you for your time.
Deanna, Scott, is there anyone else here that would like to speak in favor of this with you?
I don't think so.
Okay. So you want to waive your 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So at this time, I'll ask, is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition to this application?
I'm Tony Thornton, 2752 Highway 166 West, next door to the Kaisers. Won't take long because I need to go get some more hay out of the field tonight, so I got to go. I really don't have any objection to this building up there. It's a good-looking building and all that. There are a couple of things I wish somebody would ask or address up there. I can't get District 4 to call me back, Commissioner, so I've been there 82 years. I've seen a lot of development in that area and the city buying it and all that. Off the wall, I don't care, right off the bat, I don't care what they have up there. As long as they don't have the KKK and the gay pride people up there right next to me, I'm okay with that. The top of the hill is 107 yards from that driveway. And it's 2-lane road coming east and one going west. At the river, it comes from 1 lane coming east to 2. Those young boys in those pickup trucks from Alabama with loud mufflers coming to Southwire, they top that hill and it's hammered down. So, hey, we got to look at the traffic right there. If the DOT approved just one driveway in there, we're going to have some more wrecks there. There's been 4 wrecks from the Tice Road to the river in the last 3 weeks. So that's a pretty rough stretch of road right there. It's 2-lane coming this way, and those boys love to hammer down. There's some motorcycles that probably run 90, 100 mile an hour come through there. So we're going to have some wrecks up there. But somebody up there address that. Parking, if we got 400 people, they're going to be 150, 200 cars. I hope we got enough parking. I hope they don't park in my cow pasture or in my field. If they do, I might make me $1 off of this thing. Sound, I don't think we're going to have any problem with that. But I've been to some weddings and parties after it, and when the band quit about 1 o'clock, I done had too much champagne and had a rough day next day. So we need to sort of look at how late these parties are going on, how much champagne we're going to have up there. Other than that, there's if they're looking at their property right there, if we can make a little driveway from that out to the old camp road, a driveway through there would alleviate, because that's their land all the way to old camp, behind Mike's transmission. If we could put a driveway through there, and maybe a nice little blacktop driveway and wind around and come in from the backside, that'd probably take a lot of the traffic off of 166. That might help. As long as it's private parties and all that, I don't care. Just, it might be better for the KKK and that other group to meet in a private venue rather than a county building, but it's okay with me.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak in opposition to the application? I'll ask a second time if there's anyone here to speak in opposition. Well, seeing and hearing none, we'll go back to the 5-minute rebuttal. Scott and Deanna, do you have any more comments you'd like to make or answer any of the questions possibly?
Sure, I can at least try to answer the parking question. So if you see the part where we have the parking lined up, I mean, it's obvious that that's not enough parking for that large of an event. Part of the reason that we're showing that for now is obviously we have plenty of room for parking on that property. I think once we get to doing the grading and the pad and we see, we're going to have to make the decision whether it's going to be better to park up above it or down below it. So we just haven't drawn a parking lot yet, but there will obviously be lots more parking. And I think that's probably about, I think the rest of it's pretty much been addressed. Yeah.
Okay, if there's no time, anyone else would like to speak during the 5-minute rebuttal? I'll ask a second time. Is there anyone here that wants to speak during the 5-minute rebuttal? All right, well, seeing and hearing none, I'll open it up to the commissioners if you have any questions for staff or the applicant.
Madam Chair, should we ask for rebuttal for the opponents?
I did.
Okay, perfect.
I did, and I asked twice.
Thank you.
I think the county attorney's gone to sleep on us. I'll go ahead and ask again just to make sure, but I'm pretty certain I did. If there's anybody, okay, thank you. All right, well, so at this time I'll move on. Do the commissioners have any questions for staff or for the applicants?
Well, I have a couple. I assume that this is going to be on a septic tank, this building?
Yes, sir, that is the plan. We
And
have the
soil test
soil.
all's been done? Okay.
Soil test has already been done, I got it.
Okay. All right, well, you answered my square feet of the building. All right, the asphalt parking lot, do you know how many square feet is this parking lot? How many cars will it accommodate?
We don't know,
Scott, you'll have to-
but
Scott, if you don't mind stepping to the recording.
Scott Kaiser. John Bass also drawed additional
Right.
on the grass. I mean, we can park on the grass too if we have to, but there'll be asphalt. There's probably, I think, 50 spaces on that lot, but then we got, I mean, that's the whole point. We're zoning 8.9 acres. I mean, we got plenty of place we can put asphalt.
I think for sure the asphalt, to answer your question, I think 50 spaces is what's shown on that.
Okay.
And then it will be whether or not the rest will be in gravel until it could be asphalt. But that way, deliveries, ADA, all of that would be covered under asphalt parking in front of the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just for y'all's information, I prefer gravel. There's less runoff.
Sure. My wallet prefers.
Okay, you're going to have, and you're going to have a lighted parking lot?
That's a real good question. I know, that's true. That's a real good question. I haven't really thought about lighting, so I guess it will have to have lighting.
Okay, well, Ben knows this is coming. If it is lighted, let's make sure the lights are all perpendicular to the ground. We got places all over the county where the lights are shining out,
Sure,
and they're blinding people going up and down the road.
Sure.
And codes is addressing that now.
sure.
Are you planning on putting any other lights on the 8 acres? I don't want to light up the world out,
No,
okay? You've answered most of my questions here.
Okay.
Do you have an outside, this is the big one, you have an outside area for music?
no,
Okay, so all the music is going to be inside.
yes.
What time are you planning on shutting down at night?
I would imagine that most weddings are going to wrap up between 10 and 10:30. Most everybody's gone by 11.
Okay.
That's most of the weddings I've been to. And I'm
I would
saying
prefer- I would
weddings
prefer
because
to hear-
other events.
I would
right?
like to hear 10 o'clock, is what I'd like to hear.
Can I say something? All right,
Yes.
so, they made the motion last
Right.
meeting
planning and zoning.
for 11
Right.
o'clock, but 10 o'clock is, most everybody, we can move it inside by 10 o'clock if that's the case.
Okay, and you are approved by DOT?
Yes.
Okay. And sir, I'm the 4th District Commissioner, and if I did not return your call, I apologize. I go out of my way to return calls, so I will check. Matter of fact, if you want to call me again tonight, let me check, find out what happened with my phone. But that cuts me to the core to find out that I let a constituent call me and I didn't return his call, and I apologize.
The situation has already been covered up, and there's no evidence now, so there's no need to worry about it.
Okay? I don't have any further questions.
Okay, any other questions from other commissioners?
Mr. Skipper, what is the future land use?
My trusty sidekick over here is going to say commercial. Aren't you, Nathan? Residential? The future land use is residential,
Thank you.
but it is just past Pool RX and Thompson, is it Thompson Graden?
Yes.
Thompson Graden? So you'll pass Pool RX, Thompson Graden, then there'll be this right here.
But the answer to my question is the future land use is residential.
Correct,
Thank you.
residential.
One question I got is, have y'all gave any consideration to coming off through the back of the property like the gentleman suggested with the drive?
We did look at it. Sorry,
I know, yeah.
So yes, we did look at it. Actually, ideally, for us, that could possibly even be a back exit for future use. But for one, there's a pretty decent-sized creek bed on that property, and so that's a long way to come. Also, it was my understanding that if it has to be commercial property, that even the driveway would have to be zoned commercial. That'd be quite a lengthy little strip of land that would cut out of our property there. We'd have to go, our daughter has a home there, she has the 4 acres, so we'd kind of have to come through the middle of the property and snake around, and so the short answer is yes, but it isn't terribly practical, but we would at least look at it for the future for an exit, an additional exit.
And I may have missed it in the packet, but what did the DOT approve? Just a single decel lane or what?
Right in, right out, or do you have to do it?
As it's drawn.
So they approved a right in, right out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and from a staff standpoint, I would much rather see the access off 166, because what we're gonna have is a peak queue time of volume. So, and if we're trying to route them through our other intersection, it's better off for GDOT to control it right there on site, so it's actually be better off for our traffic control for it to have a GDOT approved commercial driveway.
Any further questions for staff or the applicant? Well, at this time, I'll look for a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any further discussion, questions, comments? Well, seeing and hearing none, all those in favor? Any opposed?
My vote would be to deny.
The vote carries 5-2.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Kaisers. And then next on our list is
8.2, conditional use, 945 Beulah Church Road. Is a conditional use request for a youth athletic field at 945 Beulah Church Road. Land lot 154 of the 10th District. Owner applicant is Victor Martinez, Commission District 6. The Planning Commission recommended approval 5-0. They also recommended 3 stipulations to go along with it. 1, a gate shall be used at the entrance of the field. 2, no parking signs placed on the road. 3, the field shall be used on Saturday and Sundays. The community development staff would like to recommend our 2 stipulations as an alternative to the planning commission's 3. I think from meeting with the public and hearing their input, we think stipulation 1, no lighting allowed, to basically the cancellation of all events at that. So we don't have a tournament going into the wee hours of the night. With no athletic fields being lit, just like the lights come on, you go home. Stipulation number 2, owner shall install a commercial driveway to be approved by the Public Works Department. That addresses potential on-street parking, because what staff's concern is when you have an event, you have people trying to leave and people trying to enter simultaneously. So with a commercial driveway, you'll have a wide enough driveway for people that can queue up leaving and entering the property and not stop in the middle of the road and cause that traffic jam. So that's why we're recommending a commercial driveway, so it'll be wide enough so you can get in and out without a single lane of traffic. And I think we've all probably gone to something like that. There was just a single lane in and a single lane out. So that's what staff would recommend in lieu of the 3 planning commission stipulations. So if you need me to read them again, Steve, or, okay.
I got it.
Is the applicant present? If you would, state your name and present your request. How you doing, buddy? Yes, sir.
I'm Don Jones. I live at 15 Blackberry Lane, Sugarbush Subdivision, Carrollton, Georgia. This is Victor. This is his daughter. I'm helping him because sometimes translation gets a little bit difficult. If you don't, it'll be okay if I pass out pamphlets. Thank you. Victor owns 2 pieces of property on Beulah Church Road. The community soccer field will only be a part of one of these properties. This is a non-fee, no-charge soccer field, no lights, with 2 driveways. I'll show you the pictures of that shortly. Presently, Carroll County has done a good job of developing fields for baseball, basketball, everything. But the problem is the growth has been so great that we have outgrown the number of soccer fields. So what it puts it down to is the majority of times Victor's community has nowhere to play soccer. They have nowhere to practice soccer. If they wait for the fields to become available, then it's too dark. It's too late. So Victor is using his lands, his money, to build a community soccer field, no financial assistance, all to be paid by Victor. This is a private soccer field. To get a field to play on, again, they have to wait hours. That's not work. Then Victor feels his community will be much better off having a field that they can play on, the children. And he's had an outpouring since this came up of not only male, but female. There's no real organization for female, young women, young girls. Doesn't exist. And there's a picture I have over there Victor gave me, and I didn't bring up, where his female soccer team disbanded because they could not find a place to play. You know, he doesn't ask any financial assistance. This is a rural area. Does not appear to be much traffic. Only 35 houses on this on this road. There's a 50-yard green space between the highway, the road, and the soccer field. If you'll look at this page, it'll show where the soccer field goes on the property, which is 50 yards off the road. If you look at the first set of pictures, you're going to see the soccer field from each end, from the parking area in to the far end. Parking is not going to be a concern. He already has a lot of parking, but if you look at the pictures, he's got area to increase parking to 75 to 100 cars if it had to be. You look at the next page on proposed parking, you see the large parking area. You see the area that he's already had the asphalt millings in. If you look at the page with the driveways, the proposed entrance and exit, not simply because, like Ben talked about earlier, he doesn't want any problems with coming in. So we've got adequate construction of in and out driveways, which will be professionally done. If you look at the very last page, is Beulah Church Road. It's a long straightaway. The curve is about 125 yards up, so there should be no issues there.
Good night, everybody. This is my first time. I stay in the front, the big coordinators. This is my first time. Mi primer vez que estamos al frente de una gran coordinación como la de Carlton.
To introduce myself, my name is Denise Martinez. I am his daughter, and I'm here for translation purposes. He just likes to, he wants to express that this is his first time being in front of like a board, a committee, and he's very grateful for that.
I got it 27 years I come in to Carlton. And when I come in over here, Carlton is everything is pretty much slow, pretty much the county, is no bigger. And I see in 27 years grow up pretty big, And in my life, I like I play soccer, and I show my daughter, my son play soccer. It's something good for me. No only for me, for everybody like player soccer, And I see my community not have well player. Whole field is full. I understand, because have a lot of young kids player. Every place is busy, and I have like 4 groups. The women's like a player no have room, and in my dream when I live in Beulah Church Road, I'm thinking, one day maybe I buy a little land for making something small, But I don't know what day, In my dream, again, I see my field soccer in my dream. And I tell my family, but I don't know how, where. My property is it's half acre, you know, and again, I have another drain, and what happened? And my neighbor come in my house and he say, Victor, I sell my property. What are you thinking? You know, buy? And I tell my family, what do you think? I buy this property. It's good, you know, like, you know, I broke my little pig. I have my quarters in there and broke and recollect my money, and I buy this property, you know. It's look like joking, you know, but it's really, really. And I started thinking, see what he doing. But I have a little room, you know, for, I think it's better for play soccer, you know. And I started thinking, see what he doing. But before they do something else, I apply my application because I respect your rules and I respect everybody. And my daughter plays soccer. My son plays soccer. I think, thank you, Jesus, because my son play soccer. And he no go in the drunk, no go in the drugs. And he is a manager de Royal Mero. And mi piel se me pone así de saber que mi hijo no está bien, a través de que jugamos fútbol.
He just wants to state that he gets just chills thinking that how just us as his children, we were able to grow and strive, and we didn't end up in a bad place because of soccer.
I'm sorry for my English. I'm sure for my English, you know, but I try the learn every day one words, you know. It's hard. It's hard because as you go to my country, you know, speak Spanish. What are you doing? The same thing like pass with me right now, you know. But I'm sorry, but in my church, in the Catholic church. I like to play soccer too with kids and men and women mix, you know, because no have room with player. And right now, I think I got one opportunity for a player. But my thing is, after this meeting done, I hope my dream not broken. Go back my family happy. You know, this is I want it. This is I like it. You know, and I try the kids play it in my field. You know, the kids, my grandsons, my daughter, my wife, my brother-in-law. You know, my community in general. You know, this is my purpose. You know, but thank you very much. Thank you. Really, thank you very much for everything.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition? If you'll state your name and address, please.
Peggy Fulford, 1249 Beulah Church Road. I know they started out, they were saying it was going to be 22 kids, 25 to 30 cars. Now they're saying they've got parking for 100. We were told last week we only have 25 residents on that road. We have 25 right on the road. There's a senior subdivision right up the street from where the soccer field's going to be. I have a quadriplegic nephew that lives in the curve just down below that with the curve and the traffic, we have a horrible time worrying about him. And the speed on that road is crazy. And the more cars we get, they're saying it's going to be Saturday and Sunday with no practice during the week. And it's Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. That's probably the only time the traffic slows down some. But the speed does not slow down at all. And my sister and right up the road, they've had wreck after wreck. Cars hitting the creek, turning over in her yard, hitting culverts. I got run off the road the other day by 18-wheeler carrying logs, going in a curve. And I could have ended up down in the ditch. And we just don't need 100 cars on Saturday and Sunday up there going up and down the road with the speed that we know is going to happen. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm Carol Snyder. I live at 1121 Beulah Church Road, just kind of off-road a ways down a long gravel driveway. But I'm close enough to the road to where I can hear accidents, especially if they happen right up the road from me. My main concern is accidents, and especially that curve. Does the DOT have a plan for a deceleration lane, is my question. And my other question is there a way to enforce the speed on that road? And that's about all I need to say. I just am concerned about the traffic, and I'm concerned about accidents. Thank you.
Go ahead.
My name is Ruby Patterson. I live at 1087 Beulah Church Road. So, first of all, yes, the traffic and the speed is a real problem. There's times a day I cannot possibly get to my mailbox. So, when I think of children up there, well, yeah, we've got the gate, we got the no signs and all that in place. But what I would like to add to that is, so we talk about a commercial drive. So we're in a residential area, and we put a commercial drive in. So then the property goes up for sale. Does this come back before the commissioners, or does it transfer? I'm just thinking long haul. There's covenants that go in place that are good for 10 years. How long will this covenant be in place? Suppose somebody gets sick, suppose something happens to this team or whatever. Again, back to the soccer games, I don't know how you can play professional and just have 2 days a week to do that. My children played soccer. They practiced almost every day. I appreciate what they're doing at no charge, but how long will it stay like that? Are we moving into a commercial zone eventually without any more, any more help from the county, maybe I should say? I think there was one other thing. The 100 yards is 300 feet. 202 by 202, I believe, is an acre. No, he's confusing feet and yards. Coming out of that curve at 35, you're there. You're right there at that entry. So if you're going to keep children safe, you're going to have to do something like a gate and security. And that's all there is to it. So, anyway, I don't want to see anybody hurt. Seriously, I don't. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak in opposition? I'll ask a second time. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition? Okay, we'll go back to the 5-minute rebuttal. If the applicant would like to answer some of the questions during the 10-minute time.
Yes. The reason that parking has been expanded in the last meeting we had, they wanted to ensure that there was no one parking on the roads. That's the only reason it's being expanded, to make sure that never a car is put there. As far as 2 days a week, I think I'll go with her answer on that one. Probably do need some practice time. I hadn't thought about that. But, like she said, it's 2 weeks. 2 days a week. Probably do need practice periodically. But we cannot control the speed and the wrecks. I talked to the county roads office. The big complaint was tractor trailers coming through there, and they look adjusting it now to look and review it and see if it's okay, if they're gonna put signs up, no tractor trailer. I talked to, Dotson at the sheriff's department about situation, and he was agreeable, not a problem, if that would be enforced. They probably have better enforcement then than they do now. There would be no practice, no playing after dark, there's not gonna be any lights. Pretty much, that's it, but I think the suggestion that, I don't know how do you play soccer on just weekend? Probably like to use it for practice too. Victor, you got anything to say?
Sobre las curvas o los accidentes o algo así.
¿Qué sí sé?
Que si vas a contestar, vas a decir algo tú sobre lo que ellos dijeron, sobre el problema de las curvas y los accidentes. ¿Es algo que quieres expresar?
Really, I live for 12, 15 years almost in this area, and never have accident in this area, you know. I know I have curve, it's a long way that way, and the field not stay there, and the curve, you know, stay in the straight line, you know. And I not playing in the night, I not playing in the week, you know, it's only Saturday and Sunday.
No hay prácticas.
Si ellos lo permiten, sí, si no, no. Yo creo eso es lo que yo quiero decir nada más.
So, okay. And as far as practice, you know, with soccer, there does come practice, but if it's something that, you know, y'all stay, like, we don't want any practices, and he's willing to go with any rules and regulations that are set in place.
Get on the, and the driveways, you sent pictures of those. We've already met with the contractor to correct that, but I don't see any harm whatsoever if some people practicing during the week. That's not the intent of the field. The intent of the field is for games. But if you, I never thought about it, she brought it up. If you're gonna have a game, you gotta practice somewhere. So, there we go. Thank you for your time.
Oh, I just want to make a comment. As far as practices, I was a former soccer player. If there were to be practices allowed, it's not like, you know, you're going to have like a lot of noise or anything. It's just a formal soccer practice. So I wouldn't see what the issue with the practice would be, but like my dad stated, it's only if y'all allow that.
Good afternoon. My name is Javier Martinez. I live at 975 Beulah Church Road. I just want to say a couple things. I think the soccer field is a great idea. I'm a former player. I think I speak for all the Hispanic that play soccer at one point or another. Over the years, soccer has grown in this country. What hasn't grown is soccer fields. I remember I used to play Crew 05, Crew 7 growing up. And those are the times we were allowed to play in soccer fields that had goals, soccer fields that were maintained. But now, on Sundays, we're playing on baseball fields. South Park Street, crowded, parking in apartments. I don't think that's right. Then we move it to Knox Park. I'm part of a team. Then we go to Knox Park. Same problem, a lot of traffic issues, a lot of commotion there, you know, with the people living in those apartments. So I think that's a hazard that needs to be fixed. I know we have soccer fields, but these soccer fields, the goalposts are locked away. We don't have soccer fields with soccer goals.
Sorry, your time is up.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here to speak in the last 5-minute rebuttal?
Okay, they mentioned, I'm 1249 Beulah Church Road. Then they mentioned practice. Practice would have to be after school. You go and sit and watch the traffic and the speed on that road from Columbia Drive to Beulah Church. Somebody's going to get killed if they start having practice during the week. And the planning board did say they would have to furnish porta potties and trash cans and no food trucks.
Is there anybody else that'd like to speak in the second opposition time? I'll ask a second time. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak during the opposition time? Well, seeing and hearing none, I'll open it up to the commissioners for questions of the applicant or for staff.
Got a couple questions for staff and for the applicant, if you could, please. All right. Mr. Martinez, I appreciate what you're doing out in the community. Being on the driveway, do you have a preference on one single wide driveway or the two driveways that's what's being proposed?
I think we would leave that with Public Works, and let the line of sight, the survey actually dictate it. But the goal is, the signs, no parking on the street, the county has an ordinance that you can't park on the street. So I understand mechanically, they're asking, does a commercial driveway automatically mean it's zoned commercial? No. The reason I was saying a commercial driveway is because of the width. It allows ingress and egress at the same time, where a standard residential driveway may only be 12 feet wide. So if the car's trying to come in and one's trying to leave, then that car comes to a complete stop in the road, which is what their concern is with traffic and speed. If you're coming down the road and a car is just sitting there dead stop, that's the concern we would have. So with a commercial driveway, you can pull in and you don't have to come to that complete stop. So it keeps the through lane through where traffic keeps to move. So what I would do is, what I would recommend still is the commercial driveway. They could have two entrances and both of them still meet the commercial driveway. But I think I would leave that with Public Works and let sight distance dictate the safety over us just saying it's going to be here or there. We just let the science dictate it.
Okay. Another question I got for you, can you address the latest concerns about what happens if they sell this property as far as conditional use permit goes away? Is that correct, or what? How does that work?
I think we'll leave that one, or that's a Stacy one right there.
Okay.
In the past, the board has made it only for that applicant and not transferable. So it's at your discretion.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And one other question for you. Like on Saturdays and Sundays, is there a way that we can limit the number of people out there? And if so, how do you enforce that?
That's an extremely difficult thing to do as far as a code enforcement staff. I think with the size of his property, it's back to what we were concerned about before. What we're concerned about with a number of people is any on-street parking. And with the current ordinance on the books right now, we wouldn't allow any on-street parking. So if on-street parking started happening, they would call code enforcement. Code enforcement would then go and address the on-street parking, which then would require him to make more accommodations or reduce the size of participants. But that's back on the landowner. He's got to manage it within his boundary, his people. So they got to get in and get off the road.
Okay, thank you. Got a couple questions for the applicant. All right. Kind of based on what you've seen in the past playing soccer, what is your expectations of the number of people out there, say on just any given Saturday? Do you have any idea?
Yes, the number of people, there's usually, and this is from playing soccer, I'm part of these soccer fields every Sunday, no more than 60, I would say, in a good, because you have two teams playing at the same time, and then they leave, then two teams come back and forth. So when that happens, it's about 60 cars.
Okay. And I heard Mr. Martinez refer to a while ago, reason he likes soccer is a lot of times is he kept his kids out of being in the streets of alcohol and drugs. Is that something that you're going to prohibit out there, that you're going to strictly enforce that there's no alcohol out there?
del alcohol, dice que el ejemplo que usted dio fue que no teníamos que tener alcohol, es algo que usted tiene que prohibir en la...
Yes, I'm responsible for that one because really, when you talk in the play soccer, no smoker, no drunk, no drugs.
Yeah.
This is my.
So
my-
short
my
answer
plan.
is yes, we don't want to see none of that in our property.
And follow up on the driveway issue, are you okay with doing whatever the roads department wants you to do, where it's one driveway versus two driveways?
Sobre la
He
entrance, I
presently
think,
has two.
Sir?
yeah, I think
If
we're,
you look at the picture, but get with the county. and
yeah, whatever the county
whatever the
wants
county
to
says.
decide, I think we were ready for two either way, but, whatever.
But you're proposing two, but if he comes in, the roads department says that they prefer one large driveway, you're prepared to do that.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Ellos prefieren una grande, es lo mismo.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I have.
Anybody else have questions?
Yes, what is the driveway made out of? Is we gonna leave it gravel, dirt? What is it?
Commissioner McClendon, a commercial driveway would be paved from the edge of blacktop to the edge of the right-of-way. So it would go all the way to his property, so that part would be paved.
Okay.
Once he enters his property, he can then be gravel. But what we're looking for there is back to when that person's trying to pull out, and what they're calling for speed on the road. If there's gravel there, they're gonna kick gravel out into the road, or they're gonna spin and not get out in the road. So that was why I was using the term a commercial driveway, which requires it to be a concrete or asphalt back to the edge of the right-of-way to his property. That way people entering and leaving, we're not kicking gravel out into the road, which for anybody that's ever ridden a motorcycle doesn't want to meet that road hazard. Also, anyone trying to leave, you can actually leave. So it would be asphalt or concrete to the edge of right-of-way. I know it was a long answer, sorry.
No, stay there.
Yep.
So so let's assume that they decide to sell the property and someone wanted to put a home there. They could either tear up the commercial driveway or they just have a wide apron leading
You're
into
just gonna have, basically the driveway is gonna be probably 24 feet back to back. It's just gonna be a super wide one.
Montreal, I'm sorry, did you have more questions?
Well, then I heard her say something about no food trucks or things like that. So is that something you guys?
That was something that the applicants volunteered at the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission didn't stipulate it, but that was something that the applicants brought up, and if that's something the Board of Commissioners would like to add to the stipulations, you most certainly can.
Okay, so I'm a coach myself. I love recreation. I understand the importance of having it in town. I understand that our fields are inundated with everything, but I understand balance. So, I certainly like the idea of having a recreational field there. But at the same time, I want to respect the residents that live around there. So I think you have to find a balance there to make sure that you have 60 people, 60 cars there. I know about it. I understand. I'm a lacrosse guy, so it's kind of the same atmosphere. You have a lot of people coming, and then I was sure people are coming in and people are going out, and that thins the traffic out because you don't have like just this mass exit of people because you have these games going. But at the same time, you have quite a few people there, and I hope you guys would be willing to make sure that, we're controlling the noise. And if we're not going to have food trucks, then we're just not going to have food trucks. Tell them to pack a cooler, bring their own sandwich or whatever, because I get that. You're going to eat and whatever out there and keep the property clean. That's huge for me, and that's coming from a guy who's into recreation, and I've gone in and played in the middle of fields in all kind of places. So I think that's important, just make sure you're keeping that balance with everybody.
Yeah, I would also ask, this is an unlighted area. You're not going to have lights on the field. I would also ask that all activities, if this passes, can we do this as part of the conditional use permit?
You can
That
add conditions.
That we cease all activities 30 minutes prior to sundown. That way we don't give them a time.
Yep.
It's because the days are different lengths, but we cease all activities 30 minutes prior to sundown so we can clear all the cars out before it gets dark.
Yep. And no cars with their headlights on trying to play long.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
No, yeah, yes, sir.
I've done that too, so I know.
Yeah, I think on the light, you know, the parking doesn't need light because we don't play soccer at night. It's just not how it's, you know, so by sunset or, you know, 30 minutes, everybody's done. Probably start 11 to whatever, you know, once it start getting dark, everybody gotta go.
Commissioners, are there any further questions for staff or the applicant? If not, I'll look for a motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve it with the staff's suggestions here, and I'd also like to add it, it's limited to this applicant only. It's non-transferable on that.
I second that motion.
Okay, I have a few questions I want to ask again. Did you want to add anything about porta potties or food trucks or lighting or the 30-minute? These were notes I had made from everybody.
Thought that was already in the packet. Is that not in there? Yes, I would like to add those porta potties and the food trucks also, not available for the food trucks.
Okay, so a motion to approve with the no porta potties, no food trucks, no lighting.
No, we were going to have, they can have porta potties, but no food
Excuse me,
trucks
yes,
and no lighting.
That's right, okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay, why don't you restate the whole thing
All
again?
right, so we'd like to approve it with the staff's recommendations. Limit it to this applicant only, non-transferable.
Yes.
Porta potties must be present.
Yes.
Okay, no food trucks allowed.
30 minutes.
And then 30 minutes cut-off time before sunset,
And no lighting.
and no lighting.
Gotcha. Okay,
And I second that.
great. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to make sure I was looking at my notes.
Okay.
Okay, great. Any further discussion on the motion being made? Well, seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed?
Motion carries 6-1.
Great, thank you.
I got one question.
Sure.
Does Don Jones play soccer? Do you play soccer?
I'm too old to walk.
We'll now move into the consent agenda. These items were discussed at our work session last Thursday, and there'll be just one vote taken. So 9.1 is the Judicial Branch State of Georgia ARPA Supplement Grant. 9.2, Animal Shelter Equipment Purchase. 9.3, the Ag Advisory, creation of the Ag Advisory Committee. 9.4, the Sales Ratio Study Appeal. 9.5, Public Works, which is striping and paving markings. 9.6, McIntosh Expansion, Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Program. And at this point, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
And for clarification, motion to approve.
Motion to approve, sorry.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
Motion carries.
I'm a yes with some heartburn. All the striping going to Bowden, Georgia.
Oh.
District 6.
We'll now
Motion
move
carries
into
7-0.
thank you. We'll now move into
that
the
was
business
District D
session.
right there.
The abandonment of 1.67 acres on West Billerica Road. At this point, I'll open it up for a public hearing.
Pardon, Madam Chair, I think, could we,
Oh, okay, for clarification, did Ernie oppose the consent agenda, or are we talking about the consent agenda? Okay, so Ernie, did you oppose the consent agenda, or did you are in favor of it?
I'm in favor of the consent agenda, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you for that clarification, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so back to the abandonment of 1.67 acres of West Billerica Road. I'll now open it up to a public hearing. At this time, Stacy, I'm sorry, I don't have my notes on what to do about the public hearing.
if there's no one here for the public hearing, then I'll go over the proposed resolution. Does the applicant want to speak for the public hearing?
Rhett, would you like to speak on the public hearing, or? Okay.
Rhett Harmon, I reside at 198 Bohannon Road, Carrollton, Georgia. I'll set this forward. This was in everyone's packet from before, same diagram from last week, or last month. Basically, West Villa Road, we did propose a rezoning, which got approved for this. We're going to do a cul-de-sac coming in, or pave the road to a cul-de-sac coming in. The road be abandoned and that property deeded over to us for building this cul-de-sac, and then one cul-de-sac to control access from the residential portion on the backside of the property. Any questions?
Is there anyone else here to speak during the public hearing on the abandonment of West Villarica Road? I'll ask one last time if there's anyone here to speak on the abandonment of West Villarica Road. Well, seeing and hearing none, I'll now close the public hearing and turn it over to the county attorney.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. As the applicant stated, the last month you all voted to approve the rezoning of the adjoining property and to proceed with the process to abandon this dirt road segment. And we've notified all of the adjoining owners by letter, and we ran an ad in the paper about the hearing. We heard from one neighbor, and when we explained what was happening, they did not object. So for your consideration is a resolution for the road abandonment with the condition which I think the applicant offered last week was that the turnaround areas, that they would construct those turnaround areas to county standards and then dedicate them to the county after completion. So this authorizes the abandonment and the chairman to take all actions to dispose of the property.
Are there any questions for the applicant or well, it's not really an applicant, but is there any questions for Stacy or for Rhett?
I do want to clarify once again from the Public Works side that there is no additional comments or nothing has changed since the last meeting.
No, sir, Commissioner, nothing has changed, and Public Works is still in favor of this.
Thank you.
Is there any further questions or comments from the Board of Commissioners? Well, seeing and hearing none, I will look for a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? Well, seeing and hearing none, all those in favor? Anyone opposed?
Yes, approved.
I think that was in favor.
Motion carries 7-0.
Right. At this time, I'll move to 10.2. This is the 3 appointments for the 2027 Corridor Joint Development Authority for the 3 members for the Carroll County, and there'll be 3 at Harrelson and 3 at Hurd, but we're approving our 3 for Carroll County. I'll look for a motion for some membership, please.
Madam Chairman, I would like to present a slate for consideration. Do want to point out, as mentioned in our packets, these will be staggered terms with a 1-year, a 2-year, and a 3-year original appointment, and after such time, those appointments will then begin to be 4 years, whether they're reappointments or they're new members. Appointee for seat 1 for a 1-year term, I would propose Lisa Boggs Justice. Appointee for seat 2 for a 2-year term, I would appoint Jeff Matthews. And appointee for seat 3 for a 3-year term, I would propose Ben Garrett.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any questions, comments from the Board of Commissioners?
Madam Chairman, I'm going to have to abstain on this vote. I missed this on the agenda, and one of the appointees, I didn't see his package. So in good conscience, I can't vote on this.
Well, seeing and hearing no other comments, there was a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed?
Yes, approved.
Motion carries 6-0.
At this time, I'll look for a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Yo.